Welcome to Information Security Awareness Session. Prepared by Secmite IT InfoSec Solutions Private Limited. Stay secure, cyber secure. We are starting from difference between cybersecurity and information security, which will help you to understand difference between cybersecurity and information security. Cybersecurity versus information security. Often, we use the terms information security and cybersecurity interchangeable, though they both are not the same thing. These terms come with both the overlapping and the difference. Let us have an overview of cybersecurity versus information security. Information security. Information security, also known as InfoSec, guarantees that the data, including both physical and digital, is safeguarded from unauthorized use, access, disruption, inspection, modification, destruction or recording. Cybersecurity. Cybersecurity guarantees that the computers, data, and network of the organization is defended from the unauthorized digital attack, access or damage by the means of implementing several processes, practices, and technologies. This security is to prevent the data, network, and reputation of the company against the attack. Both practices consider the value of data. In information security, the main concern is safeguarding the data of the company from the illegal access of any kind, whereas, in cybersecurity, the main concern is safeguarding the data of the company from illegal digital access. It's really important to know about objective of security awareness. In this slide we are going to introduce about objective of security awareness. The objective of this awareness program is to educate employees, students, computer users on the various aspects of information security requirements along with roles and responsibilities of the concerned stakeholders and do's and don'ts. This is to raise the required awareness level among the employee, students, computer users and everyone who lives in this online world to protect the information security asset of the organization adequately which they come across while dispersing their duties. The program is expected to provide as a ready reckoner against the stated areas. It's really need to know about importance of security awareness. The most basic thing that every organization needs is security awareness training. Security awareness training is all about teaching your colleagues and employees to understand the risks and threats around the ever-evolving cyber world. Protects information from a range of threats. Ensures business continuity. Minimizes financial and reputational loss of a company. Increases business opportunities. Identity theft. Monetary theft. Legal ramifications, for yourself and your organization. Cybersecurity has been a major topic of discussion throughout 2017, with no signs of cyber attacks slowing down. Several organizations have faced high-end data breaches with millions of stolen credentials. Across the world, hackers are taking control of networks, locking away files and demanding sizable ransoms to return data to the rightful owner. From phishing attacks to ransomware and advanced persistent threats attacks, these days it is not a case of if companies get breached, but more of when. Check some of news about how cyber attacks are increasing day by day. Security threats are common. During the past year, 34% of organizations had an email phishing attack successfully infiltrate their network. 30% of organizations had one or more endpoints infected with ransomware. 29% of organizations had malware infiltrate through an unknown source. 17% of organizations had sensitive, confidential info leak through email. 14% of organizations had an email spear phishing attack successfully infect one or more senior executives' computers. 12% of organizations were successfully infiltrated by a drive-by attack from employee web surfing. 11% of organizations were victims of a CEO fraud, business email compromise attack. Only 27% of organizations did not experience a security attack during the past 12 months. All is about threat, vulnerability, risk to protect valuable assets. So need to know about threat, vulnerability, risk is very important. Not asset, people, property, and information. People may include employees and customers along with other invited persons such as contractors or guests. Property assets consist of both tangible and intangible items that can be assigned a value. Intangible assets include reputation and proprietary information. Information may include databases, software code, critical company records, and many other intangible items. An asset is what we're trying to protect. Threat, anything that can exploit the vulnerability, intentionally or accidentally, and obtain, damage, or destroy an asset. A threat is what we're trying to protect against. Vulnerability, weaknesses or gaps in a security program that can be exploited by threats to gain unauthorized access to an asset. A vulnerability is a weakness or gap in our protection efforts. Risk, the potential for loss, damage or destruction of an asset as a result of a threat exploiting a vulnerability. Risk is the intersection of assets, threats, and vulnerabilities. Why is it important to understand the difference between these terms? If you don't understand the difference, you'll never understand the true risk to assets. You see, when conducting a risk assessment, the formula used to determine risk is A plus T plus V equals R. That is, asset plus threat plus vulnerability equals risk. This is all about information security. So please let's understand what is information. Corporate strategy, company financials, business and divisional performance details, etc. Business development, strategy plans, leads, pricing, mergers and acquisitions, proposals, business, RFP, etc. Operations and transition, technical and operational detail, project plan, reports, business RFP, transition information, pilot process, etc. Finance, costing sheets, profit and loss, balance sheet, forecast, audit reports. Facilities and administration, power wiring layout, power equipment maintenance procedure, building layout, blueprints and drawings, contact information, access card information, key locations, etc. IT infrastructure, IT architecture, configuration details, license keys, data center layout, passwords, ACL, technical and audit reports, etc. Software development, IP product informations, source code Virginia reports, program logic, design document, etc. Legal, contractual information, agreements, disputes, bonding information, etc. Contract management, SLAs, so, MSA, review reports, etc. HR, people personal information, medical reports, drug testing report, criminal background verification reports, salary structure, appraisal information, termination information, disciplinary action information, etc. The most common excuses on information security. No one could possibly be interested in my information. Antivirus software slows down my processor speed too much. I don't use antivirus software because I never open viruses or email attachments from people I don't know. So many people are on the internet, I'm just the face in the crowd. No one would pick me out. I'm busy. I can't become a security expert, I don't have time, and it's not important enough. I just shared information within my department. I store data on desktop because it is easy to access current files. I don't need to take backup as my data never get corrupt. Someone may have a visitor, that's none of my business to ask him. I am responsible and respectable employee of the organization. Why should I wear ID badge? Why do I need to learn about information security? Good security standards follow the 90-10 rule. 10% of security safeguards are technical. 90% of security safeguards rely on the computer user to adhere to good computing practices. Example. The lock on the door is the 10%. Remembering to lock, checking to see if it is closed, ensuring others do not keep the door open, keeping control of keys is the 90%. 10% security is worthless without user. Information can be created, stored, destroyed, processed, transmitted, used for proper and improper purposes, corrupted, lost. Information can be stolen, printed or written on paper, stored electronically, shown on corporate videos, transmitted by post or using electronics means, verbal, spoken in conversations, displayed, published on web. Information security is safety. Security, we must protect our computers and data in the same way that we secure the doors to our homes. Safety, we must behave in ways that protect us against risks and threats that come with technology. Goal of information security. The ultimate goal of the information security process is to protect three unique attributes of information. They are: confidentiality, information should only be seen by those persons authorized to see it. Information could be confidential because it is proprietary information that is created and owned by the organization, or it may be customers' personal information that must be kept confidential due to legal responsibilities. Integrity, information must not be corrupted, degraded, or modified. Measures must be taken to insulate information from accidental and deliberate change. Availability, information must be kept available to authorized persons when they need it. From this slide we are covering some common threats to information with animation, which will help you to understand about threats and how they exactly working to harm information. We are covering below threats in next slides. Password threats. Malware's threats. Types of malwares dash. Viruses. Worms. Trojan horses, logic bombs. Rootkits. Botnets, zombies. Social engineering and its various forms. Phishing. We are starting from very basic type of cracking. Password cracking is a term used to describe the penetration of a network, a system, or resource with or without the use of tools to unlock a resource that has been secured with the password. What is password? It is important to know about what is password and what is importance of protecting password. String of characters for authentication and log on computer, web application, software, files, network, mobile phones, and your life. Some types of password attack. Brute force attack. Dictionary attack. A brute force attack is the simplest method to gain access to a site or server, or anything that is password protected. It tries various combinations of usernames and passwords until it gets in. This repetitive action is like an army attacking a fort. We are demonstrating you through animation about how brute force attack works. In this animation, attacker is trying to access computer with multiple password combinations. He is guessing about password of user like his name, his date of birth, his car no. Because it's proven that most of users are using such simple password combinations and it is easy to attacker to guess and generate attack. So always use strong password. We are covering an upcoming slide for how to generate strong password. Another form of password attack is dictionary attack. A dictionary attack is a technique or method used to breach the computer security of a password-protected machine or server. A dictionary attack attempts to defeat an authentication mechanism by systematically entering each word in a dictionary as a password or trying to determine the decryption key of an encrypted message or document. Dictionary attacks are often successful because many users and businesses use ordinary words as passwords. These ordinary words are easily found in a dictionary, such as an English dictionary. We are demonstrating you through animation about how dictionary attack works. In this animation, attacker is trying to guess password with dictionary words to access computer. Dictionary word means common words available in dictionary. Attacker generate attacks with multiple dictionary words. Because most of users are using such simple password combinations which is available in dictionary. So remember use simple password combination. Malware attacks. In this slide we are going to tell you about malware and different classes of malware. Viruses, worms, trojans, and bots are all part of a class of software called malware. Malware or malicious code, malcode, is short for malicious software. It is code or software that is specifically designed to damage, disrupt, steal, or in general inflict some other bad or illegitimate action on data, hosts, or networks. Some of the more commonly known types of malware are viruses, worms, trojans, bots, backdoors, spyware, and adware. Damage from malware varies from causing minor irritation, such as browser pop-up ads, to stealing confidential information or money, destroying data, and compromising and/or entirely disabling systems and networks. Malware cannot damage the physical hardware of systems and network equipment, but it can damage the data and software residing on the equipment. Malware should also not be confused with defective software, which is intended for legitimate purposes but has errors or bugs. Classes of malicious software: viruses, worms, trojans, bots. In next slide we are going to tell you how some malware actually works. We are going to demonstrate through simple animation about how malware works. We are starting from very known type of malware attack virus and how it works. A virus attaches itself to a program, file, or disk. When the program is executed, the virus activates and replicates itself. The virus may be benign or malignant but executes its payload at some point, often upon contact. Viruses can cause computer crashes and loss of data. In order to recover or prevent virus attacks, avoid potentially unreliable websites, emails. System restore. Reinstall operating system. Use and maintain antivirus software. Please see animation about how virus works. A virus is a small piece of software that piggybacks on real programs. For example, a virus might attach itself to a file such as a spreadsheet program. Each time the spreadsheet program runs, the virus runs, too, and it has the chance to reproduce, by attaching to other programs. So by this way normal file becomes affected file. Next type of malware is a worm. Worm is an independent program that replicates itself and sends copies from computer to computer across network connections. Upon arrival, the worm may be activated to replicate. Please see animation about how worm works. Information can be stolen, printed or written on paper, stored electronically, shown on corporate videos, transmitted by post or using electronics means. Next type of malware is a botnet. A botnet is a number of compromised computers used to create and send spam or viruses or flood a network with messages as a denial-of-service attack. The compromised computers are called zombies. Please see animation about how botnet works. A denial-of-service, DOS, attack is an attack meant to shut down a machine or network, making it inaccessible to its intended users. DOS attacks accomplish this by flooding the target with traffic, or sending it information that triggers a crash. In this scenario an infected computer targeting central server to make it inaccessible to its intended users. Next type of malware is a logic bomb. Malware logic bomb executes upon certain conditions. The program is often used for otherwise legitimate reasons. Examples: software which malfunctions if maintenance fee is not paid. Employee triggers a database erase when he is fired. Please see animation about how logic bomb works. In this scenario an disgruntled employee has set a program with timer. Once timing is over, program comes in action and starts intended transactions like sharing of files with attacker computers, or spreading infection to other computers. Sometime it shutdowns computer is per timer setting. Man-in-the-middle attack. An attacker pretends to be your final destination on the network. When a person tries to connect to a specific destination, an attacker can mislead him to a different service and pretend to be that network access point or server. Please see animation about how man-in-the-middle attack works. In a sense, a man-in-the-middle attack, MITM, is like eavesdropping. Data is sent from point A, computer, to point B, server/website, and an attacker can get in between these transmissions. They then set up tools programmed to listen in on transmissions, intercept data that is specifically targeted as valuable, and capture the data. Sometimes this data can be modified in the process of transmission to try to trick the end user to divulge sensitive information, such as login credentials. Once the user has fallen for the bait, the data is collected from the target, and the original data is then forwarded to the intended destination unaltered. Wireless threats. Wireless LAN are vulnerable to specialized attacks. There are 4 primary classes of threats to wireless security. Unstructured threats, individuals using easily available hacking tools. Structured threats, hackers who are more highly motivated and technically competent. These people know wireless system vulnerabilities, and they can understand and develop exploit code, scripts, and programs. External threats, they work their way into a network mainly from outside the building, such as parking lots, adjacent buildings or common areas. Internal threats, internal access and misuse account for 60 to 80% of reported incidents. Security measures to protect from wireless threats. SSID hiding. MAC ID filtering. Static IP addressing. Please see animation about how wireless threats works. In this animation we are going to demonstrate some basic wireless attacks. Communication is going on between user and genie on wireless access point. Attacker starts monitoring communication if it is not secure with available tools. He gets some basic information about user and access point like SSID, username, password, etc., which he can use in unauthorized access. In next attack based on stolen information, he might install his own dummy access point to hack your communication for unauthorized information stealing purpose. User will not come to know about this, because attacker using all same credentials of original access point. Rootkit. Upon penetrating a computer, a hacker may install a collection of programs, called the rootkit. May enable easy access for the hacker, and others into the enterprise. Keystroke logger. Eliminates evidence of break-in. Modifies the operating system. Social engineering. One a very common and favorite attack of attackers. Social engineering manipulates people into performing actions or divulging confidential information. Similar to a confidence trick or simple fraud, the term applies to the use of deception to gain information, commit fraud, or access computer systems. Some kind of social engineering attacks are pretexting, diversion theft, phishing, IV or phone phishing, spear phishing, water holing, baiting, quid pro quo, tailgating. In upcoming slides we are going to see difference of social engineering attacks and how these attacks are carried out by attackers in different ways. Social engineering threats. People are often the weakest links. All the technical controls in the world are worthless if you share your password or hold the door open. Attempts to gain confidential information or credentials, access to sensitive areas or equipment, can take many forms. In person, email, phone, postal mail. Social engineering threats. Phishing, counterfeit email is popular type of social engineering threat. Phishing is the attempt to obtain sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, and credit card details, and money, often for malicious reasons, by disguising as a trustworthy entity in an electronic communication. Phishing is typically carried out by email spoofing or instant messaging, and it often directs users to enter personal information at a fake website, the look and feel of which are identical to the legitimate one, and the only difference is the URL of the website in concern. Anti-phishing. Social responses. Browsers alerting users to fraudulent websites. Augmenting password logins. Eliminating phishing mail. Monitoring and takedown. Transaction verification and signing. Limitations of technical responses. In next slide we are going to see different types of phishing attacks works. In this scenario of phishing email, attacker is trying to trick user to share sensitive bank card details. Attacker sends email to user pretending that email is from bank and user's bank card is about to expire and needs replace. For replacement, attacker is asking very sensitive information like card number, expiry of card, CVE details. Users thinks that email is genuine, and to avoid inconvenience he share this details with attacker. Attacker is successful to phish user. Now he having all details which he can use for any purpose, and user is not aware about this. Attacker can use this information to shop from e-commerce sites or can make any financial transaction. In this scenario we are going to demonstrate how spear phishing attack works. A spear phishing email targets a specific employee at your company. In this case he is targeting CEO of company and account head who is responsible for financial transactions. To identify targets, attacker takes help of social media like LinkedIn and Facebook. Once he identified CEO and account head, he prepares for spear phishing attack. In this he creates email which look like original email, but he hides his own email details and email appears like genie on email. Attacker now sends email to account head. Emails appear to come from a trusted source. Account head receives email and he assesses importance of email, because email is appearing from CEO. He takes action immediately without confirming back to CEO, because mail is from CEO and it is not good to disturb CEO. Attacker is successful in phishing, because account head has transferred amount in account given by attacker. To avoid this it is mandatory to cross-check in such transactions and need to use some kind of sense. See the snapshot of real email phishing. Next type of social engineering attack, farming counterfeit web pages. Farming is a cyber attack intended to redirect the website's traffic to another, fake site. Farming can be conducted either by changing the host's file on a victim's computer or by exploitation of a vulnerability in DNS server software. Farming requires unprotected access to target a computer, such as altering a customer's home computer, rather than a corporate business server. Farming is a type of phishing but without the enticement. A hacker infiltrates a computer system and installs malicious code that causes website traffic from the system to be transmitted to fake sites created by the hacker. This is done without the victim's knowledge or permission. In next slide we are going to see how farming attack works. Farming refers to redirecting website traffic through hacking, whereby the hacker implements tools that redirect the search to a fake website. Farming may cause users to find themselves on an illegitimate website without realizing they have been redirected to an imposter site, which may look exactly like the real site. In this animation attacker has inserted fake website which look like real. And through this fake link he is collecting sensitive information from user, which he could use for unauthorized access. Also you can see how to identify fake links, some clues are given in animation. One of most critical attack faced by entire world since last year. Ransomware. Yes, ransomware. Ransomware is a type of malicious software from cryptovirology that threatens to publish the victim's data or perpetually block access to it unless a ransom is paid. While some simple ransomware may lock the system in a way which is not difficult for a knowledgeable person to reverse, more advanced malware uses a technique called cryptoviral extortion, in which it encrypts the victim's files, making them inaccessible, and demands a ransom payment to decrypt them. 1 in 9 organizations surveyed has been infiltrated by ransomware, malware or hacking because an employee has clicked on a phishing link or attachment. And only 42% of ransomware victims recovered their data. In next slide we are going to see through animation how ransomware works. In this slide we are going to see through animation how ransomware works. Ransomware is similar to other malware in that it installs itself on a computer and runs in the background without the user's knowledge. But unlike malware that hides and steals valuable information, ransomware doesn't hide. As soon as ransomware has locked a user's machine and/or encrypted files, it notifies the user of its presence to make the ransom demand. Remote social engineering often takes place over the phone. Attempts to gain information that may help stage further attacks. May pose as technical support, telephone company, or a vendor. Usually requests sensitive information. Login credentials or account information. Employee names and methods of contact. Information about computer systems. If you are unsure, or something seems suspicious, always verify by calling the official number listed in phone directory. Ask for name, company, callback number, and issue inquired about. Inform the caller you will call back. Next type of social engineering attack, pharming counterfeit web pages. Pharming is a cyber attack intended to redirect the website's traffic to another, fake site. Pharming can be conducted either by changing the host's file on a victim's computer or by exploitation of a vulnerability in DNS server software. Pharming requires unprotected access to target a computer, such as altering a customer's home computer, rather than a corporate business server. Pharming is a type of phishing but without the enticement. A hacker infiltrates a computer system and installs malicious code that causes website traffic from the system to be transmitted. Social engineering. Protect yourself. Verify the visit with management. Make sure the visit has been scheduled and approved. Always request identification and credentials. Require a valid, government-issued form of identification. Closely monitor and observe visitors and vendors. Never leave visitors alone in sensitive areas. Visitors should be escorted at all times. Closely observe their activities. Never trust suspicious emails. If an email seems out of the ordinary, has an incorrect signature, or just seems out of character, pick up the phone and verify. If the visit cannot be verified, the visitor should not be granted access, period. We have gone through various types of attacks. In this slide we are going to know symptoms of infections. Antivirus software detects a problem. Disk space disappears unexpectedly. Pop-ups suddenly appear, sometimes summoning security software. Files or transactions appear that should not be there. The computer slows down to a crawl. Unusual messages, sounds, or displays on your monitor. Stolen laptop, one stolen every 53 seconds, 97% never recovered. The mouse pointer moves by itself. The computer spontaneously shuts down or reboots. Often unrecognized or ignored problems. Changes to your browser homepage, start page. Ending up on a strange site when conducting a search. System-based firewall is turned off automatically. Lots of network activity while not particularly active. Excessive pop-up windows. New icons, programs, favorites which you did not add. Frequent firewall alerts about unknown programs when trying to access the internet. Poor system performance. In upcoming slides we are going to know best ways for threat protection. Defense and depth require for threat protection. Defense and depth uses multiple layers of defense to address technical, personnel and operational issues. You can see diagram for multiple layers of defense depicted at various security layers. We are now in the phase of protection and starting with most important point of password protection. Use strong passwords that are not dictionary words and contain uppercase letters. AZ, lowercase letters, AZ, numbers, 09, punctuation marks. At $% and underscore plus equals. Passwords should be minimum 8 character long. The last 3 passwords should not be used. Do not share your password with anyone, anytime. When you receive technical assistance, enter your password yourself. Do not reveal it. Do not store/write your passwords, the best way to remember is to memorize it. Change your password periodically. Example. I at Wixigfly equals I am working in Z group for last 3 years. I at plus A at Zig equals I have a positive attitude at Z group. It bat 0715 FN equals I take bus at 7:15 from Noida. Social engineering. Protect yourself. Verify the visit with management. Make sure the visit has been scheduled and approved. Always request identification and credentials. Require a valid, government-issued form of identification. Closely monitor and observe visitors and vendors. Never leave visitors alone in sensitive areas. Visitors should be escorted at all times. Closely observe their activities. Never trust suspicious emails. If an email seems out of the ordinary, has an incorrect signature, or just seems out of character, pick up the phone and verify. If the visit cannot be verified, the visitor should not be granted access, period. Laptop security. The company laptop, computer is meant for official purpose only. Guard the laptop while traveling. Never leave laptops unattended in public areas or in a car. Follow admin and IT security guidelines while carrying company-provided laptops. Disable Bluetooth, Wi-Fi on your laptop when not in use. Beware of shoulder surfing while using laptop in public places. For your critical data, ensure backup is taken on centralized server. Use of personal pen drives and laptops is prohibited inside office premises. Information asset security. Information assets are classified as soft, paper, physical, and service. Create limited copies and circulate on need-to-know basis only. Store confidential files, CDs, DVDs etc. under lock and key when not in use. Do not disclose company confidential assets to unauthorized personnel. Follow clear desk policy. Critical and confidential information should be disposed using a shredder, when not required. Never leave the keys of the storage spaces at obvious locations. Information should not be sent to any public domain, Google Drive, Dropbox, Share. For detailed instructions follow company acceptable usage policy. Printers, photocopiers and faxes security. Collect important and confidential fax personally from the fax machine. Seek superior approval before you fax any important information. Always request for confirmation of receipt of the fax sent by you. Do not leave documents unattended in the fax, photocopier or printer. Always collect originals from machine and destroy, shred scrapped, spoiled or unwanted printouts, photocopies. Question on the usage of printer, fax machines by unidentified or unauthorized personnel. Email security. Email facility should be used for carrying out for business-related work and not for personal or commercial usage. Company employees shall ensure all communication through company email or messaging services is conducted in a professional manner. Usage of profanity, obscenities or derogatory remarks in any email is strictly prohibited and punishable offense. Do not open email attachments received from unknown or suspicious sources. Do not store, send or respond to unsolicited emails like chain, hoax mails etc. Use password protection or encryption while sending sensitive files over emails. Password: protect your Outlook.pst files and do not share the password with anyone. Do not forward any official information on your personal email ID. Every 27th email in most of the inbox contains a virus, Trojan or other forms of malware. Spam accounts for roughly 70% of all emails on the internet. Mobile security. Almost all aspects of our life are now connected to the internet and our mobile devices. Indians are increasingly using their phones for banking, online shopping, and social media. The more we travel and access the internet on the go, the more risks we face on our mobile devices. Tips for securing mobile devices. Think before you connect. Before you connect to any public Wi-Fi hotspot, confirm the name of the network and exact login procedures to ensure that the network is legitimate. Guard your mobile device. In order to prevent theft, unauthorized access and loss of sensitive information, never leave your mobile devices unattended in a public place. Keep it locked. Always lock your device when you are not using it. Use strong pins and passwords to prevent others from accessing your device. Update your mobile software. Keep your operating system software and apps updated, which will improve your device's ability to defend against malware. Only connect to the internet if needed. Disconnect your device from the internet when you aren't using it and make sure your device isn't programmed to automatically connect to Wi-Fi. Know your apps. Be sure to thoroughly review the details and specifications of an application before you download it. Delete any apps that you are not using to increase your security. Antivirus protection. Antivirus is a software, computer program, that scans files or your computer's memory for certain patterns that may indicate an infection. The patterns it looks for are based on the signatures, or fingerprints, of known viruses. Once a virus is detected in the wild, the antivirus companies then release these new patterns for your antivirus software to use. These updates come out daily by some vendors. Virus authors are continually releasing new and updated viruses, so it is important that you have the latest definitions installed on your computer. Antivirus software detects certain types of malware and can destroy it before any damage is done. Install and maintain antivirus and anti-spyware software. Be sure to keep antivirus software updated. Firewall protection, one of important threat protection. A firewall acts as a barrier between your computer, private network and the internet. Hackers may use the internet to find, use, and install applications on your computer. A firewall prevents many hacker connections to your computer. Firewalls filter network packets that enter or leave your computer. Backup protection. Backup important information. No security measure is 100% reliable. Even the best hardware fails. What information is important to you? Is your backup recent, off-site and secure? Process documented, encrypted, tested? Patching protection. A patch, or hotfix, is an updated file or set of files, DLL, sys, etc., that fixes a software flaw. Two types of patches. Security patches, patches that address known security vulnerabilities. Non-security patches, patches that improve performance or fix functional problems. Service packs. Contains all previously released security and non-security patches, roll-ups. Contains new patches also. Wireless threats. Wireless LAN are vulnerable to specialized attacks. There are 4 primary classes of threats to wireless security. Unstructured threats, individuals using easily available hacking tools. Structured threats, hackers who are more highly motivated and technically competent. These people know wireless system vulnerabilities, and they can understand and develop exploit code, scripts, and programs. External threats, they work their way into a network mainly from outside the building, such as parking lots, adjacent buildings or common areas. Internal threats, internal access and misuse account for 60 to 80% of reported incidents. Security measures to protect from wireless threats. SSID hiding. MAC ID filtering. Static IP addressing. We are in the last phase of session, and in upcoming slides we are going to summarize threats and protection discussed in previous slides. Security do's and don'ts. Security is the responsibility of us all. Follow the tips in this presentation and you'll be helping to keep yourself, your colleagues and our business safe. Security sets us free to do what we do best. It's simple and mostly common sense. Don't get tricked. Don't be tricked into giving away confidential information. Don't respond to emails or phone calls requesting confidential company information, including employee, customer information, financial details or company secrets. It's easy for an unauthorized person to call or mail us and pretend to be an employee or one of our business partners. Stay on guard to avoid falling for this scam, and report any suspicious activity to SOC. And protect your personal and business information just as closely. Stay secure. Don't use an unprotected computer. When you access sensitive information from a non-secure computer, like one in an internet cafe or a shared machine at home, you put the information you're viewing at risk. Make sure your computer is running the latest approved security patches, antivirus and firewall. And you should work in user mode, not administrator mode, whenever possible. Put things away. Don't leave sensitive info lying around the office. Don't leave printouts containing private information on your desk. Lock them in a drawer or shred them. It's very easy for a visitor to glance down at your desk and see sensitive documents. Keep your desk tidy and documents locked away. It makes the office look more organized, and reduces the risk of information leaks. Lock it. Lock your computer and mobile phone when not in use. Always lock your computer and mobile phone when you're not using them. You work on important things, and we want to make sure they stay safe and secure. Locking your phone and computer keeps your data and contacts safe from prying eyes. We are in the last phase of session, and in upcoming slides we are going to summarize threats and protection discussed in previous slides. Security do's and don'ts. Security is the responsibility of us all. Follow the tips in this presentation and you'll be helping to keep yourself, your colleagues and our business safe. Security sets us free to do what we do best. It's simple and mostly protected. Password protect. Sensitive files and devices. Always password protect sensitive files on your computer, USB, smartphone, etc. Losing items like phones, USB flash drives and laptops can happen to anyone. Protecting your devices with strong passwords means you make it incredibly difficult for someone to break in and steal data. Use strong passwords. Always use hard-to-guess passwords. Don't use obvious passwords, like password, admin, cat, or obvious character sequences on the QWERTY keyboard, like STFGN 12345. It's better to use complex passwords. Include different letter cases, numbers, and even punctuation. Try to use different passwords for different websites and computers. So if one gets hacked, your other accounts aren't compromised. Like dash $E7 in L1 get T0R5 in MIBTH. 7 alligators in my bath. Mobile security. Almost all aspects of our life are now connected to the internet and our mobile devices. Indians are increasingly using their phones for banking, online shopping, and social media. The more we travel and access the internet on the go, the more risks we face on our mobile devices. Tips for securing mobile devices. Think before you connect. Don't plug it in. Don't plug in personal devices without the OK from security. Don't plug in personal devices like USB flash drives, MP3 players and smartphones without permission from security. These devices can be compromised with code waiting to launch as soon as you plug them into a computer. Talk to security about your devices and let us make the call. Don't install it. Don't install unauthorized programs on your work computer. Malicious applications often pose as legitimate programs, like games, tools or even antivirus software. They aim to fool you into infecting your computer or network. If you like an application and think it will be useful, contact security to look into it for you before installing. Don't share. Don't share password. Don't share your password with anyone else, even your close friends. Do not share any, including root, admin, password with anyone. In case of doubt, speak to your senior manager first. When credentials are shared amongst an organization or team of employees, it becomes harder to manage and track them. If a breach occurs, it becomes harder to determine who is responsible. It also increases the chance that human error will lead to credential theft. Thank you. For one step ahead towards security, please like and spread awareness about information security. SECMA IT. Infosec Solutions Private Limited. Professional discretion security for a changing world. Services which we provided to our valued customers. IT audit and advisory. Compliance and governance. Risk and security management. Training. IT audit and advisory. We provide our expertise in the field of IT audit and advisory like system audit, network audit, security audit, compliance audits, process review and audit, access control review and audit. Compliance and governance. We help our clients in GRC management, vendor risk management, policies and procedures, ISO 27001 implementation, business continuity management. Risk and security management. Your security is our responsibility. We help you secure your IT with threat risk assessment, IT control testing, penetration testing, server and network hardening, identity and access management, security design and engineering, firewall rule review and optimization, vulnerability assessment and remediation, endpoint security, backup, and recovery, storage and server management, IT compliance. SECMA IT. Infosec Solutions Private Limited. Professional discretion security for a changing world. Contact us to stay secure. SECMA Infosec Solutions Private Limited. 6, Sri Krishna Empire. Behind RTO Office, Purnanagar. Chinchwad, Pune, Maharashtra. India, 411,019. Email, contact@secmite.com. www.secmite.com